We drive into an inferno. We're struggling to get north right now, hitting roadblock after roadblock as these flames go all the way up and down this highway. It's not just here, it is for miles and miles. A countryside consumed by flames. The wind and heat and flames are really starting to pick up. You can hear everything burning behind you, that smoke coming off, stinging the eyes. The heat radiating off this flames is so intense right now. For weeks, this has been the reality for the people of Australia.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Apocalyptic, this is in the middle of the day.
Holy all of my possessions have been totally incinerated.
All around the country, homes destroyed by the hundreds.
Oh, get down and blow. Go! Go!
People evacuated by the thousands. Australia's prone to yearly outbreaks, but changing winds, a prolonged drought, and record heat have exacerbated the danger, creating a maelstrom engulfing the country in a ring of fire.
They are spreading through ranches and even the edges of town at hugely quick rates,
destroying more than 15 million acres of land. At least 25 people have lost their lives.
This is just the beginning of their fire season, so we can anticipate even worse impacts in the next weeks.
To put this into context, in 2018's massive California fires, nearly 2 million acres of land were left to ash. The ones in the Amazon, even bigger. But since September, the fires here in Australia have already burned more than 3 times those events combined. For scale, if you superimpose Australia over the United States, the fire was spread from California to Pennsylvania. Now, more than 4,500 firefighters and support personnel are trying to bring this to an end, including 77 from America, 21 more arriving today. Firefighters like volunteer Steve Price from Boise, Idaho.
It's the biggest fire I've ever been on in my life, and I've been doing it 32 years now.
In the last week, authorities evacuating residents and tourists as fires intensified. But in the face of it, some deciding to stay. 19-year-old India McDonald surrounded by the inferno with only a garden hose to beat back the flames.
I can't breathe through my mask.
She told Australia's News 9 that against near insurmountable odds, she and her firefighter father were able to save their house. On Friday, we met Paula and David Durant. They decided to stay behind and fight the flames at their ranch.
We're just hoping that, we can save the house, if nothing else.
We went to check on them after Saturday's fires tore through. The road to their house was charred, with some parts still burning. What was it like here?
Oh, horrific. Yeah. Horrific. Yesterday was really terrible, really bad. I mean, the heat, no power. We've got limited phone reception, so we sort of, basically can get a few, quick messages out to people.
Oh, wow, they're still smoking up there.
Yeah. Burned all the way through here and all the way up there in the hills, and we're just putting it out, but it seems to have hopefully gone around us a little bit more.
In the coastal town of Malakuta, 4,000 residents and tourists were forced to shelter on beaches. Others taking refuge in boats. Some prepared to jump into the water. The sky dark with smoke as fierce winds pushed flames towards them. Evacuation of so many is nearly impossible because of the clouds of dense smoke. The military having to use boats to deliver supplies while they wait.
When we were in there, in the thick of it, we thought that this could be it.
The flames so perilous that these firefighters in South Wales were forced to shelter inside their truck, weaving through a raging inferno.
It had got to a point where it was too dangerous to remain in the vehicle.
A warning to viewers, many of these images are disturbing. Nearly 500 million animals are estimated to have been killed. One Facebook user posting this haunting video of a sea of animals lying dead on the side of the road. As the fires ravage much of Australia's fragile ecosystem, the Australia Zoo, owned by the late Steve Irwin's family, posting on Instagram that they've taken in over 90,000 animal patients. It's scary when you think of how many are lost, and there's still so much you can learn from them.
Oh, we have lost thousands. Thousands of koalas, thousands of so many other species. It's just criminal. This is the worst event this country's ever seen, without a doubt. Horrific.
Shane Flanagan is the director at the Koala Hospital in New South Wales.
You see here, there's burns there, but they've all healed. That was all red raw, and it's all growing back nicely now.
Her hospital's a safe haven for koalas, taking in dozens of animals that have been burned or lost their habitat. koalas like Paul.
He's a very shy little koala.
Paul went viral after being saved back in November at a nature reserve. He was named after the human who rescued him.
Hi, Paul.
See how he's lost hair?
Yeah.
And all the fur's really all growing back.
Paul is one of the lucky ones. I got him. It's not just burns that are dangerous to koalas. Their environment is being destroyed. The fires and the hot, dry air also make them more susceptible to diseases that could render female koalas infertile.
This disease, with a lot of these burnt animals, is going to take out a lot more of burnt koalas that have survived the fires. It will kill them as well. Yeah, so it's... And with the drought, there's no moisture out there in the eucalypt leaves, there's no groundwater, so they're all dying of dehydration, burns and disease.
Despite these dangers she says are created by a changing climate, Shane's determined to protect the species.
Up until when these fires happened, I never thought that would be a possibility, but if we have another few seasons like this, you know, over the next few summers, heaven help the populations out there. And I say shame, Australia, shame. Not on our watch though, eh, Amanda?
Unfortunately, fires approaching this scale are not just an Australian problem.
I can't even see. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Over the past few years, wildfires have become a global catastrophe, increasing in frequency, size, and severity from Greece to Portugal to the California coast, left barren by devastating fires.
We are spewing pollution and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and the science is pretty clear that that has impacted our climate in a way to cause extreme conditions.
Do you think it's a warning call for Americans?
Yes.
Yeah, how so?
We've got to change the way we live. You know, we've got to stop being such big consumers and change it. The time is happening now, you know, Mother Earth is getting cranky.
Cranky, yes, but for those staying behind, fighting for their home is their only hope.
We're not going to go anywhere because we've been lucky. That's all we can hope is that, you know, it's not coming back. They just keep saying, oh, be prepared, be prepared.
A brief break in the weather is offering a little relief, and some towns are opening back up, but those monster fires are still raging. And with more potentially catastrophic conditions expected later this week, the people here say they're living in constant fear. For Nightline, I'm Maggie Ruley in New South Wales, Australia.